Okay, for this project, we're going to be making a little basket, a woven basket out of paper that you can put your Valentines in. And since we're working on weaving in the third grade, I thought this would be a good project to use. So you will need the pattern that Mrs. Mulligan has ready for you. You need two pieces of different colored paper. You need a pencil, pair of scissors, and a glue stick. I also have, you might want a scrap of paper if you want to add something to it. I also have how to do this on direction sheet. So the first step is to fold each of these pieces of paper in half, but so that you make them shorter, not long and skinny. I'm going to make them shorter like a book. Now this part is extremely important. The pattern says place on fold. That area must be placed on the folded part of your paper, or this project will not work and you will have to start over again when you make your cuts. Then take a pencil, trace the pattern carefully. You don't have to cut this little skinny edge off, just make that curved line at the top. Then draw 3 straight lines going down the center. I left a little space in between there. You need to do this on both papers. So make sure you find the folded edge, put the ends of the strips on the fold, close it up, and trace it. Only the top half and the 3 lines going down to the bottom of the page. Now share the pattern with someone else. You're going to leave this paper closed and you're going to cut your pattern lines out and recycle your paper. You're going to cut in from the fold and stop where your line stops. If you go a little tiny bit further, it may be easier for you to work with. Just don't go all the way through because then your papers will fall apart. Cut them both out nice and neat. Okay, now we're ready to start the weaving, but there's one more little step. So you should have 2 pieces of paper that have cuts in the middle. Now you need to have strips of paper to weave with, so on only one end you're going to continue the cuts all the way to the edge of the paper. Then you're going to hold this paper so it's folding, the fold opens toward you. You're going to take this one so the fold is going to close and the strips of paper are at the top edge. Then you start with the first edge. You can start going under, over, under, over. Put it part way in. Take the next one, and now you must go over, under the other strip. These are the weft threads that you're putting in, and the ones going up and down are called the warp threads. I'm going to pull that through partly. Then I'm going to do the next string, or the next strip of paper. It starts out under, over, under, over. Don't pull them all the way through in the beginning, because if you do that, it's going to be too hard to weave the next one. Then I'll take this last one, and I do it like the second one. Over, under, over, under. Now, once I have them in, I'm going to grab the ends right here, and I'm going to gently pull this through all the way to the end. You may have to do each one a little at a time to be able to get them through. Just be patient. Take your time. Now, once they're all the way through, you should be able to, you know it's far enough if you can fold these back down again. If you can't fold them back down, then you need to wiggle it through a little bit. Okay? Now the next step is to fold this over. Now I'm going to begin to weave. I'll turn it upside down because I'm right-handed. I'm going to look. That last one was going over. So for this one, I'm going to go under, over, under. Just slip it through. This next one has to be the opposite way. So I'm going to go over, then under. If your heart papers look like a checkerboard, you're doing it correctly. If it doesn't look like a checkerboard, you have something wrong. This next one has to go under first and then over, under, then over. The last one goes over. Now this is going to be a little tricky. You might want to put your hand inside so your fingers can help push. See my fingers pushing the paper up? You can push the paper up, and I just have to slip it through. Okay, and when I get this all done, I'm going to just put a tiny touch of glue right on those spots where the last strips went over and under, and perhaps underneath this one right here. That way it won't come out. That one will probably stay. The other thing you can do is open it up and put little pieces of Scotch tape to hold those down. Then I found a piece of pink scrap paper, and I'm going to cut a handle out of that. And then I can take my handle and I can attach it with some glue or with some tape to the basket like that, and then I'll be able to carry it. If this is too difficult for you, you can cut the heart's shapes in half and just not have a basket. You can just have a flat woven heart, and that would look really nice. So if you can cut your patterns right in half, that would work as well. Don't tell me I did this whole thing.